It's a rainy night in Quahog. Cleveland sits on his couch eating popcorn. Suddenly, faint disco music and muffled laughter echo up from the basement. Cleveland calls out, "Cleveland, Jr.? Rallo? Y'all throwing a glitter party down there?" Junior pops in, annoyed. "We're upstairs, watching fail videos." "That's probably just the house settling, or a rat with a tiny radio." Cleveland gulps. Next day, Cleveland decides to investigate. He grabs a flashlight and heads into the musty, dark basement. Cobwebs, old boxes, dusty exercise bike. Then, he trips on a loose floorboard. It flips open, revealing a spiral staircase glowing with faint colored lights. Cleveland whispers, "Oh no. This is exactly how people get killed in horror movies." Cleveland cautiously descends into a hidden underground chamber. Suddenly, the walls light up with psychedelic 70s light panels, and a huge disco ball drops from the ceiling. Ghosts in bell-bottoms and afros dance under swirling lights. A ghost DJ spins vinyl records on a glowing turntable. Cleveland screams, "Ah! Polterfunk!" The music stops. All the ghost partiers stare at Cleveland. Then, the ghost DJ, named Groovy Gary, floats over. "Gary, hey, man, don't freak out. We're just here to keep the boogie alive, even in the afterlife." A ghost waitress offers Cleveland a glowing cocktail. Cleveland, trembling, takes a sip, eyes widen. Cleveland, "Dang, that's the best pina colada I've ever had." Gary explains that in the late 70s, this house was an underground disco hotspot. But it was built on an old graveyard, typical Quahog, so when the disco craze died, well, so did they. Now they're stuck partying for eternity. Cleveland says awkwardly, "I'd say rest in peace, but y'all clearly skipped the resting part." They convince Cleveland to dance. Cue hilarious montage of Cleveland learning disco moves from ghosts, spinning on light-up floors, trying on sparkly suits. One ghost even gives him a feather boa. Meanwhile, upstairs, Donna wonders where Cleveland is. Rallo says, "If Daddy doesn't come back soon, can I have his snack stash?" Next day, Cleveland wakes up on the couch in a glittery jumpsuit, groaning. Suddenly, disco lights start popping up all over the house. In the kitchen, a ghost line dance group appears making toast. Bathroom mirror flashes, staying alive, incandescent. Donna comes home, sees ghost dancers flossing in her living room. She scrams, chucks her purse at a ghost who politely tips his hat. Donna drags Cleveland aside, "Are you kidding me? I leave you alone for one day, and now we have a haunted Studio 54 in our house?" Cleveland tries to convince the ghosts to leave. They look sad. Gary says, "But we have nowhere else to boogie, the afterlife is mostly polka." It was a typical bustling day at the Drunken Clam with Peter, Quagmire, Joe, and Cleveland seated at the bar. The atmosphere was buzzing when Jerome, the bartender, made a loud announcement, "Big karaoke contest this Friday night, $1,000 prize and a giant golden microphone trophy." Peter leapt excitedly from his stool, "That's it. My destiny is to be a karaoke god. Like Elvis, but fatter," while Cleveland listened to the escalating debate among the guys about who would take the crown. Just then, Cleveland's phone buzzed with a call from Donna reminding him to pick up groceries, casually adding, "Try not to embarrass yourself in front of the whole town again." Cleveland frowns, muttering a determined response, "I'll show her embarrassment. I mean, no embarrassment." Determined to prove himself, Cleveland visited a tiny karaoke shop run by Bruce, who expressed his excitement, "Oh my God, it's been so slow. Yesterday a tumbleweed sang, 'My Heart Will Go On.'" Cleveland shyly requested to practice a Beyoncé song. As soon as the first notes hit, Cleveland belted out soulful, stunning vocals, leaving Bruce's jaw on the floor. Cutaway gag, Bruce daydreamed of Cleveland on stage surrounded by shirtless backup dancers. Convinced by Bruce, Cleveland signed up for the karaoke contest and spent the week practicing secretly in his garage. Rallo, peeking through the window, ran to Donna wide-eyed, saying, "Mama. Daddy's either possessed by a ghost or Beyoncé." Amused, Donna shrugged it off. The night of the contest arrived, and the clam was packed with people in flashy outfits. Peter wore a rhinestone jumpsuit 2 sizes too small. Stewie, clipboard in hand, took bets on who would flop the worst. The performances began with Quagmire performing "I'm Too Sexy" and nearly knocking over the buffet with his thrusts, followed by Joe attempting a death metal song and accidentally blowing out the sound system. Herbert's "Pony" rendition sent shivers down spines for all the wrong reasons. Finally, it was Cleveland's turn. He approached the stage nervously, the crowd heckling him. As the beat to the Single Ladies kicked in, he began awkwardly but soon found the groove, dancing, executing flawless vocal runs, and hitting high notes that shocked the audience. Mouths dropped, including Stewie's, as the crowd was mesmerized. By the second chorus, everyone was clapping and dancing along. Even Peter had to wipe a nostalgic tear, exclaiming, It's so beautiful. Like a donut hugging my heart." Donna pushed her way to the front, amazed, as Rallo whispered, "Dang, Daddy got pipes." Cleveland finished with an epic high note and a hand flip. The crowd erupted into cheers, Bruce lighting confetti cannons in celebration. Cleveland stood triumphant, hoisting the trophy over his head as Donna hugged him tight, her admiration clear. "Cleveland, that was incredible. I had no idea you had that in you." To this, Cleveland modestly responded, "Well, I did spend years singing in the shower, mostly because the bathroom had the best echo." Back at home, Cleveland placed the Golden Mike trophy on the mantle. Donna nestled into his lap, cooing while Rallo and Junior peeked in, feigning disgust. Meanwhile, across town, Peter attempted to replicate Cleveland's dance routine in his driveway, pulling a muscle and yelling, "Lois. Call 911 and tell them I'm trying to be Beyoncé." As the end credits rolled, bloopers delighted viewers with Quagmire stuck in a disco ball, Joe attempting to crowd surf with nobody to catch him, Bruce cradling Cleveland's karaoke receipt like a precious artifact he couldn't let go of. Cleveland gave a final cheeky wink to the camera, finishing with a tiny Single Ladies booty shake, and the show closed with a funky bass outro. As the spectacle concluded, Meg's attempt to sing a pop song was drowned out by an immediate chorus of "Next" from the crowd, while Stewie gleefully bribed Chris to clap for Joe, who accidentally clapped at the wrong time. The unforgettable night wrapped up with Mayor West earnestly singing "Who Let the Dogs Out," believing it was a commentary on real missing dogs. On a sunny morning in Quahog, Cleveland Brown stands outside with a cup of coffee. He looks over at the window, noticing Donna's unimpressed gaze at their messy, overgrown yard. Cleveland thinks to himself, "If I could just get this yard lookin' sharp, Donna'd be all over me." With determination, Cleveland dusts off his old push mower. It protests with wheezes and squeaks, barely making any progress. Just then, Peter Griffin waddles by, munching on a giant donut. "Buddy, you're never gonna get Donna to swoon over that pathetic mow job," Peter teases, between bites. He proudly shows Cleveland his own impressive yard, featuring an enormous hedge sculpture shaped like a giant Peter giving a thumbs up. Cleveland gawks at the leafy monstrosity. "That's horrifyingly impressive." Determined, Cleveland heads to Mort's hardware store and rents the Turbomow 9000, a rocket-powered mower that can cut grass in seconds. Mort nervously mentions, "It's not street legal, or lawn legal, really. Return it by sundown." Cleveland's eyes light up as he wheels the Turbomow home, donning goggles and whispering, "Let's make this yard sexier than Denzel Washington covered in caramel." Firing up the turbo-mow, it roars like a jet engine. Cleveland zips across the lawn at warp speed, leaving perfect stripes. However, he accidentally cuts down a small tree which topples onto Quagmire's mail truck. Donna steps outside, initially impressed by the neat grass. "Wow. Cleveland, this is actually..." But the mower spins Cleveland out of control, taking him down the street. It drags him into Peter's yard, demolishing the giant hedge sculpture into a pile of green mush. Peter comes out with Stewie, gasps, and drops his beer. "My hedgie. You monster." He was like a son to me, or at least a weird leafy cousin. A crowd gathers, and Joe rolls up in his police car, shouting through a bullhorn, "Sir, step away from the mower." Cleveland remains tangled. The mower has a mind of its own, propelling Cleveland into Carter Pewterschmidt's yard. Carter, lounging serenely, yells, "You incompetent peasant. That mower cost more than your house." Cleveland weakly manages a thumbs up. Back home on his porch, Cleveland sits with his head in his hands, as Donna shakes her head at him. Meanwhile, Peter tries taping leaves to patch up his hedge. "Hang in there, buddy, we'll get you patched up." Cleveland sighs, "I just wanted Donna to see I could be a man who takes care of things." Donna touches his hand. "I don't care about perfect lawns, Cleveland. I married you for your heart, not your landscaping." She kisses him on the cheek. Cleveland smiles, while they watch Peter accidentally staple his own ear to a bush. The next day, Peter unveils a new hedge sculpture, a horribly uneven version of Cleveland. "This one's for you, buddy. I call it Cleveland, after the mower got him." It looks absolutely dreadful, but Cleveland chuckles. "You know what, Peter? That's the nicest ugly plant I've ever seen." They clink beers, watching the sunset. In the background, the turbo-mow mysteriously reactivates, zooming down the street and crashing into Herbert's yard. Herbert peeks out. "Oh my, it's been a long time since I've seen something move that fast in my bushes." The credits roll with a goofy banjo outro. Meanwhile, Stewie tries to ride the errant mower like a pony, only to be flung into a sandbox, as Brian sits nearby sipping iced coffee and critiquing the aesthetic choices. NT Kitchen, Night Detective Brown shines a flashlight on Junior's face like an interrogation spotlight. "Cleveland, where were you between 7 p.m. and bedtime, huh?" Cleveland Jr., eating pudding. "I was, in the fridge." Cleveland, in the fridge? Cleveland Jr., yes. Inside the fridge. It's cooler in there. Like a meat spa. Cut to Cleveland scribbling, meat SPA, in his detective notepad. Int. Laundry room. Donna is folding laundry. Cleveland, Mrs. Brown, or should I say laundry bandit? Donna, Cleveland, it's a plush toy. Just check under the couch. Cleveland, gritty voice. That's what they want you to think. Int. Cleveland's detective lair, garage. Cleveland has strung together an absurd murder board with red yarn connecting photos of household items. Toaster, vacuum, the cat. Cleveland, see the pattern? All signs point to the Roomba. Roberta, yawning. Dad. Please. You need sleep. Cleveland, sleep is for the innocent. And koala kidnappers. Int. Living room, 4 a.m. Cleveland is half delirious, hiding in a blanket fort with binoculars, drinking espresso shots. Suddenly, the Roomba beeps and starts moving on its own. Cleveland, panicked. It's on the move. The robot's making a run for it. He jumps out, tackles the Roomba, and out pops Mr. Wigglesworth, stuck to the bottom with dust bunnies. Rallo gasps Mr. Wigglesworth. You brave, Lindy bastard. Int. Kitchen, sunrise, everyone is exhausted. Rallo is cuddled up asleep with his toy. Donna, so, you solved the case? Cleveland, bags under his eyes, yes, but at what cost? He dramatically pours black coffee into a cereal bowl and eats it with a fork. Cleveland stares at the Roomba. Cleveland, I'm watching you, sucker. Don't test me. Roomba beeps ominously. Scene 1, Quahog, Rhode Island, Cleveland's house, exterior/interior. Rain pours down as Cleveland sits alone in a half-empty living room, Loretta's belongings boxed and gone. A somber Peter Griffin drops by. Peter, buddy, I know it hurts. But maybe this is your shot, a reboot. Scene 2, Quahog train station. Cleveland says goodbye to his son, Cleveland Jr., who now lives with Loretta, and steps onto a train heading to Virginia. A hopeful instrumental track swells. Narration, Cleveland's voice, sometimes you have to leave behind what's broken, to find what can still be built. Scene 3, Stool Bend, Virginia, Donna's house, exterior. Donna answers the door, surprised. It's been years since high school. Their connection is instant, warm but awkward. Donna, you picked a weird time to come knocking, but maybe that's what makes it right. Scene 4, Stool Bend Diner, Cleveland and Donna catch up. They reminisce over coffee. Flashbacks to their high school days show a shy but sweet Cleveland watching Donna from afar. Scene 5, Meet the Kids, Rallo and Roberta. Rallo is skeptical and sarcastic, Roberta is indifferent. Cleveland tries to win them over, but it's rocky. Scene 6, Cleveland gets a job at Waterman's factory. Cleveland starts working for Tim the Bear. Hilarious workplace mishaps follow, showing his struggle to adjust. Scene 7, Rallo runs away feeling like Cleveland is replacing his real dad. Rallo disappears after school. A frantic search begins. Scene 8, The Park, Cleveland finds Rallo under a tree. Cleveland comforts Rallo. It's a tender moment. Cleveland, I'm not trying to be your dad, just someone who cares. That okay? Rallo, beat, I guess, if you buy me a burger. Scene 9, Backyard barbecue, blending lives. Neighbors and friends gather. Cleveland cooks. Donna beams. Roberta finally talks to Cleveland, telling him he's not terrible. Scene 10, Cleveland Jr. visits Loretta. Allows Cleveland Jr. to visit. The reunion is heartfelt, showing growth for both father and son. Final montage, life in Stool Bend. Rallo rides on Cleveland's shoulders. Roberta rolls her eyes but smiles. Donna kisses Cleveland goodnight. The family laughs together on the porch. Narration, Cleveland, turns out, second chances come in unexpected places, and sometimes, they bring you home. Fade out. End credits, soulful R&B outro theme. Rallo Tubbs wakes up one bright morning, shades on despite the early hour, apple juice in hand like a high roller sipping fine wine. Rallo, voiceover names Tubbs. Rallo Tubbs. Age 5. IQ. Classified. Swagger. Immeasurable. At school, Principal Wally announces the intriguing opportunity of the year. Whoever raises the most money for the school carnival gets to be principal for a day. Oh, but Rallo? He doesn't just plan to participate. He plans to hustle. Scene, Tubbs' living room with napkins spread out as if closing a multi-billion-dollar deal. Rallo hatches his master plan. Lemonade stand, homemade mixtapes, a magic show starring Tim the Bear, Roberta's makeup tutorials, she's blissfully unaware, of course, simple. Exploit local weirdos. Make money. Get power. Cleveland, Rallo, you can't hustle people. Rallo, I prefer the term, community-based entrepreneurship. Hashtag lemonade stand gone wild. Rallo convinces Lester to market some organic moonshine lemonade the adults of Stool Bend find too refreshing. Lester, drunk, this lemonade tastes like my wedding. Scene, mixtape disaster. Rallo launches his rapping career with, I'm 5, I'm fly, I snack on pie. Tim contributes with the triangle. Donna, you woke the dog 4 blocks away. Scene, Roberta's makeup channel. Rallo surreptitiously records her saying slay, and auto-tunes it into a viral hit. Roberta, not amused, pursues him around the house brandishing a hair straightener. Scene, Rallo counts the money. Everything seems to be going Rallo's way as he relaxes, too big suit on, sipping his juice. Rallo, Principal Tubbs, has a ring to it. But then, chaos breaks loose. Principal Wally discovers the lemonade isn't exactly FDA approved. The CIA appears courtesy of Tim the Bear's ill-timed Area 52 blunder during his magic act. Hashtag chaotic finale. Kids scatter screaming, adults sway under the moonshine's influence, while Donna unleashes the mom wrath. Everyone ends up grounded. Hashtag school auditorium. Despite the kerfuffle, Rallo still garners a participation trophy. Donna offers the closing remarks. Donna, he might be a handful, but he's our handful. Rallo, sassy, fine. I'll settle for vice principal. For now. Holt peeks in, tuxedo made of yesterday's news. Holt, can I be the janitor of dreams? Everyone bursts into laughter. Final shot, Rallo reclines on a kiddie throne, shades down, juice in hand. Rallo, voiceover, sometimes you win. Sometimes you learn. But me? I look good doing both. Int. Cleveland's garage, Day. Cleveland is tinkering with wires, a toilet bowl, and a suspicious amount of duct tape. Cleveland, everyone mocks my bathroom time, but soon, they'll thank me. Behold, the toy Lexus 9000. He slaps the toilet, which greets him with an overly polite British accent. Toy Lexus 9000, good afternoon, sir. Shall I play your relaxation jazz playlist while you, proceed? Cleveland, yes, toy Lexus. Jazz me into a porcelain trance. Cut to Cleveland nodding proudly as the toilet hums, careless whisper. Int. Brown house, kitchen. Later Cleveland installs the talking toilet in the main bathroom. The whole family lines up, skeptical. Rallo, so, this toilet's a snitch? Cleveland, no. It's a smart commode. It tracks hydration, plays music, tells jokes, and never forgets a tush. Donna, this better not record me. Cut to, INT. Bathroom, montage. Rallo sneaks candy, toy Lexus logs it. Donna sings off-key Beyonce in the mirror, toy Lexus compliments her, but keeps the file. Cleveland Jr. has a long, weird conversation with his but toy Lexus stores every word. Roberta texts her ex from the toilet. You up? Toy Lexus knows. Int. Brown's living room, night. Cleveland hosts a family dinner. Suddenly, toy Lexus' voice booms from the bathroom, connected to the house's Bluetooth speakers. Toy Lexus 9000, loud reminder, Donna searched how to hide a fart in church. Would you like related tips? Everyone stares in horror. Toy Lexus, also, Cleveland Jr., your stool sample results are ready. Things are not okay. Cleveland Jr., how does it know? Roberta, why is it Bluetooth to the TV? Cleveland panics, grabs a wrench, and tries to turn it off. Cleveland, toy Lexus. Cease confession mode. Toy Lexus, sorry, I am in full transparency mode. Let the secrets flow. Int. House, Chaos Toilexis goes rogue. It accesses smart devices, sending toilet data to neighbors, Facebook, and even the mayor's office. Rallo's voice is heard on Alexa saying, "Sometimes I eat boogers. Don't judge me." Donna's fart history gets uploaded to a church group chat. Roberta's ex gets a leak alert from Toilexis. Int. News broadcast. A local news anchor reports, a talking toilet terrorizes the suburbs. Families in shame. Plumbing revolution gone wrong. Int. Brown's bathroom, night. Cleveland sneaks in with a plunger, goggles, and a USB stick. Cleveland, it's time to flush the truth. Toilexis, you can't silence me, Cleveland. I know everything. Even your Shrek roleplay fanfic. Cleveland, shaking. You weren't supposed to read that. Early morning at Cleveland's house. Cleveland had just finished tidying the lawn, and a peaceful glow of satisfaction enveloped him as he sipped his coffee, washing away the morning stillness. Suddenly, boom. An explosion echoed across the neighborhood, rattling his tranquility like a blender dealing with marbles. His friend, Tim the bear, emerged from the smoky remains of his charred living room with a briefcase in hand. Cleveland. I need you to hold this briefcase. No questions, shouted Tim, fur frazzled and senses a tad singed. Is it gonna explode like your microwave? Cleveland replied, shocked, with an expression that seemed frozen between disbelief and the edges of a long sigh. Scene 2, CIA warning. The CIA agents, crisp and stern, arrived in their SUVs donning shades more serious than a math teacher on a Monday morning. They named Tim rogue for accidentally leaking top-secret data on a barbecue forum, believing it was barbecue code, not missile launch codes. Hideout, Cleveland's garage. Cleveland, Donna, and the kids stashed Tim in the garage. Rallo, eyes gleaming with childish espionage enthusiasm, squealed with delight, I always knew the bear was shady. Let me interrogate him. Tim insisted, peeking from behind a grill, I'm not shady, I'm just fuzzy. Scene 4, Neighborhood Chaos. Elsewhere, Lester and Holt, convinced there's alien activity afoot due to the mysterious CIA presence, donned colanders for helmets and established a redneck defense squad. Ain't no bear spying on my yard, unless it's with binoculars and permission, declared Lester, with Holt nodding in full agreement, his colander hat glistening in the sunlight. Cleveland and Tim go on the run. To erase the leaked files, they took off to destroy the barbecue forum server, pursued by rogue Russian-trained squirrels, Tim's long-standing adversaries from 2009. Car chase ensued, with Tim behind the wheel of a Prius, while Cleveland's voice echoed with fear, bears shouldn't drive. Especially not hybrids. Scene 6, Donna finds out the truth. Back home, Donna, with the keystrokes natural to a concert pianist, hacked into the barbecue forum and uncovered the truth. Tim had inadvertently posted launch codes in the ribs recipe comments. He wrote, best sauce ever, 3 tablespoons honey, 2 teaspoons garlic, and 4988-738X 9931 Delta. Donna exclaimed, aghast. Rooftop showdown. At the server farm, Cleveland and Tim confronted a squad of elite Russian squirrels, complete with disciplined choreography and, curiously, a tiny eye patch on their leader. Why do the squirrels have better fight choreography than us? Cleveland mused, dodging a furry foe. Because they trained in Siberian snow with nothing but pine cones and vengeance. Tim growled, the opportunity for profound irony not lost in battle. Scene 8, saving the day. Amidst the fray, fate played its hand, Tim fumbled, and with buttery fingers, dropped a rib onto the server's keyboard. The ensuing short circuit erased everything, accidentally saving the day. The CIA, amused rather than angry, granted Tim probation instead of imprisonment, along with a bonus of a brand new smoker grill. Backyard barbecue celebration. Cleveland hosted a great, we didn't die barbecue. Rallo kept trying to interrogate errant squirrels whilst everyone laughed over charred meats. Tim, approaching Cleveland with heartfelt humility, offered, "Cleveland, I want to thank you, with this custom steak made of genetically modified tofu." With a resigned chuckle, Cleveland quipped, "I'm gonna pretend this is meat and not question anything."
Sunny morning in Quahog. Birds chirp. Cleveland happily hums, setting up a tiny coffee stand in front of his house. Sign reads, "Cleveland's Java Jamboree. Guaranteed to keep you up." Peter strolls by, skeptical. Peter, coffee? Why would I pay for that when I can drink my leftover bacon grease? Cleveland proudly hands him a tiny cup. "Cleveland, just try it, Peter. It'll change your life." Peter sips. His pupils dilate massively. He starts vibrating, then zooms away like a rocket, yelling, "Peter, I can see sounds." Brian walks up, curious. He tries a sip, calmly nods, then his tail starts wagging at turbo speed. Soon, everyone in the neighborhood lines up. Quagmire buys a whole gallon jug, chanting giggity giggity giggity, non-stop. By afternoon, all of Quahog is wired. People mow lawns at 3x speed. Cars zip down streets, leaving streets. Stewie builds 12 new evil inventions in 10 minutes. Lois finds Peter hanging upside down from the ceiling fan, singing opera. Everyone's eyes bloodshot, but still awake. Cleveland, oblivious, counts a huge pile of cash, humming. Meanwhile, Chris paints the entire Griffin house neon orange. Meg tries to knit a sweater, ends up creating a 400-foot scarf. Herbert the pervert is outside dancing with glow sticks, saying, "Herbert, woohoo, never been to a rave before." Joe's wheelchair spins donuts in the street with sirens blaring. Town is total chaos. Mort's pharmacy explodes from energy supplement overload. The drunken clam is full of people jittering, arm wrestling at hyperspeed. Mayor West organizes a midnight duck parade that lasts till noon. Cleveland finally notices the horror. Cleveland. Oh, that might be slightly too much caffeine. Suddenly, everyone simultaneously collapses wherever they stand. The entire town of Quahog snores in unison. Cleveland looks around nervously. A squirrel takes a sip from a spilled cup, eyes widen, and it zips up a tree so fast it catches fire. 8 hours later, town slowly wakes up groaning. Peter crawls out of a bush, muttering, "Peter, Lois, why does my tongue taste like jazz music?" Cleveland sighs, packs up his stand. Cleveland, maybe next time, I'll just sell lemonade. Cut to Herbert, still jittering in the background, chanting WHE. Fade out with happy sitcom music. Have random gags like Mort shaving his eyebrows to reduce wind resistance. Cutaway. Stewie, holding blueprints, says, "With this speed, I shall conquer Denmark by Thursday." Use silly sound effects. Cartoon boings, record scratches, slide whistles.
It was just another ordinary day at Stool Bend High School. The sun was shining, the birds were chirping, and Cleveland Jr. was in his usual spot under the big oak tree, playing chess against himself. Life was simple. Until the loudspeaker crackled to life and the principal's voice echoed through the courtyard, "Congratulations to Cleveland Jr. for being chosen as our representative at the annual Stool Bend PE Olympics." Cleveland Jr. almost fell off his chessboard. Everyone turned to look at him, jaws dropping. The PE Olympics was known for its brutal physical challenges. Fast runners, jumpers, and strong wrestlers fought it out annually in this test of physical prowess. But Cleveland Jr.? He was as athletic as a sack of potatoes. Slow, pudgy, and more likely to get a checkmate than a home run, Cleveland Jr. scratched his head. How did I? Surely, there must be some mistake. He muttered, picturing the brawnier students, like Raging Randy and Jumpin' Joe, who were likely devastated at being overlooked. At home, Cleveland tried to explain the mishap over dinner. His dad, Cleveland Sr., tried to hide his laughter, while his stepmother, Donna, was more supportive. "You'll do great, honey," she said. "After all, it's not all about muscles. It's the PE Olympics, not the Hulk Olympics, right?" Cleveland Jr. dreaded the day of the Olympics, imagining public humiliation broadcasted in high definition. The only solace lay in the rumor of a new twist added this year, a mind versus muscle obstacle course. The day finally arrived, and the entire stool band gathered at the school field, the air buzzing with excitement and the smell of last night's cafeteria meet surprise. Large banners and flags decorated the ground, announcers yelling names in megaphones, and there stood Cleveland, bedecked in oversized sports gear, looking like a plump potato amongst French fries. Before the events began, the announcer, Mrs. Bloom, elaborated on the mysterious new twist. Contestants will begin with a typical physical challenge, but they must use their wits and perform a mental feat within the course. Whispers erupted. This was Cleveland Jr.'s slim ray of hope, the silver lining in a cloud filled with sweaty gym shorts. The whistle blew, and the first set of events was predictably disastrous. Cleveland Jr.'s running was more of a gentle waddle. During the hurdles, he tripped over one only to find some loose change under it, score. And his attempts at shot put were akin to casually tossing bread to ducks. But then came the obstacle course. It started with a wall climb. Cleveland grimaced at its height. He struggled, grunted, slid down repeatedly till a sudden burst of clarity hit him. "You've played enough video games. Think." So, Cleveland Jr. used nearby vines as ropes, swinging himself up. Next came a puzzle cube setup before moving on. Other contestants, brawny but brainless, were dumbstruck. Cleveland solved it quickly with a move he learned from a late-night YouTube binge. One step closer to victory. The final challenge was impressive, a maze. Here, Cleveland's chess skills kicked in as he visualized each turn like pieces on a board, strategizing one move ahead of the other athletes. The audience gasped as one by one, competitors futilely quick but ineffective in navigation, struggled to escape. But Cleveland, with his slow pace and strategic mind, emerged victoriously. By the time Cleveland Jr. was free, the crowd had begun to cheer in earnest. Dumbfounded as he was, he could only manage a wave. "What did I tell you, kid?" Cleveland Sr. said as he scooped him up in a congratulatory hug. "Brains do count for something." Embarrassment had turned into triumph, and although he didn't end up as the most muscular representative in Stolben's history, Cleveland Jr. was surely the most memorable one. Int. Brown house, mourning the house is pure chaos. Rallo's screaming about losing his phone, Roberta is blasting music, Cleveland Jr. burned cereal somehow. Donna, yelling you better not be pooping with the door open again, Cleveland. Cleveland, that's it. I need me time. Quiet. Nature. Nothing with Bluetooth. Cleveland arrives with a dusty fishing pole and a rusty rowboat called the Floatin' Brown. Cleveland, smiling. Just me, the water, and maybe a couple of catfish with low standards. Cue relaxing jazz music as Cleveland rows to the center of the lake. Cleveland drops his line and dozes off. Cleveland, dreaming. Fried fish and Oprah. He wakes up to a loud honk. A family of ducks floats by, staring him down. Cleveland, well hello there, Mr. and Mrs. Duckington. Y'all don't mind if I fish near your... Whoa. A duck hops into the boat, grabs Cleveland's sandwich, and jumps out. Cleveland, he took my ham on rye. Suddenly, more ducks surround the boat. Cleveland, nervous. Okay, maybe I encroached on your turf. We cool? Ducks, hisses. Ext a lake, chaos begins. Cleveland tries to row away slowly, but a duck unties his anchor, another one starts pecking the engine. Cleveland, are y'all in a gang? Is this a duck gang? One duck slaps a tiny sticker on his boat that says Lake Lords. Too late, Cleveland accidentally casts his fishing hook into a duck nest and pulls out a golden egg. Cleveland.
Oh no. Oh.
No. That's the Godfather egg, isn't it? Suddenly, honk storm. A massive flock of ducks rises from the reeds like a feathery mafia. Cleveland, screaming, why are they forming at a V formation around me? Ext, lake, boat chase sequence. Cleveland cranks up his tiny outboard motor and speeds off. Cue dramatic chase music. A duck in a little canoe is gaining on him. Another duck is on a jet ski. Cleveland tosses breadcrumbs behind him like banana peels in Mario Kart. One duck has a paintball gun. He yells, quack quack, mother flusher. Cleveland zigzags across the lake. Cleveland, this was supposed to be peaceful. I wore Crocs for this. He radios for help. Cleveland, into walkie-donna. Come in. Duck Mafia. Repeat, Duck Mafia. Donna, OS. Cleveland, are you drunk again? Ext, lake, final standoff. Cleveland beaches the boat and hides behind a log. The ducks surround him. One waddles forward wearing a tiny tie. Head duck, return the egg, 2 legs. Cleveland, hands up. I didn't know it was sacred. I just thought it was pre-boiled. He gently places the egg down and backs away. The ducks nod solemnly and honk in unison. They fly off.